I am moving out of this apartment, and as part of the move, I am getting rid of most of my electric skateboards, including all of my Exway boards, except for a small handful of them. So I thought this would be a good opportunity for me to cover every single board that Exway has released from their founding in, I think 2016 up until today. At the moment, I literally have every single one of their boards except for the Flex 2 Pro. That one I don't have because they were short on demo boards. Aside from that, I have all of them. Well, I don't have the Flex Paragon here because that one I took to the new apartment already. So let me just talk briefly about every single board that they've ever released. And I'm gonna try to do them in order. I'm not sure if I remember the order that it came out, but I'm gonna try. Okay, so the first one that they ever released was the Exway X1. Check this out. This is a 7 kilogram board, I think. Let's weigh it real quick. Oh shit, 6.3? This is a hub motor board, but wow, what? No, is that right? Hold on, 6.3? This board was only 6.3 kilograms? Holy crap, I thought it was 7. But anyway, yeah, this is an awesome board. Like, look at how freaking sleek it is. Man, I kinda don't want to get rid of it because this is like a piece of history. This board was so different from others because look at how freaking sleek it was. And actually at the time, there were a couple other boards that were also really sleek, but this board is just like, it has the app that lets you adjust performance. You know, it has the standby mode. And you know how adjustable performance and standby mode, those are like very basic things today. Those features started with the Exway X1. Okay, I'm not sure about the adjustable performance. I think others might have had something similar, but the standby mode came from the Exway X1, and then other boards using Hobbywing started to adopt it. The next board that Exway came out with was the X1 Pro. That's not the stock grip tape, obviously. The X1 Pro is basically the X1, but I think with a slightly bigger battery. Like, I don't remember the battery capacities, but the main thing that was special about the X1 Pro was the introduction of belt drive. And it's not just the introduction of belt drive, but like you can swap between hub motors and belt drive. Back then, with most production board ESCs, you were stuck with either hub motors or belt drive. This was, as far as I know, this was the first production board where you can choose if you're using hub motors or belt drive. I think the next board that Exway came out with was the Flex. This is the Flex, but this is with a prototype deck. So the original Flex did not have this deck. But yeah, the Flex was their first, I guess you can call it a boosted style type of board. It had the, okay, this deck doesn't have it, but it had the, oh, I have the deck. Yeah, I still have the deck. It had these wheel well flares, which some people liked, but it seems like a lot of people didn't like this flare because they felt like it was pointy. I liked it. I thought it was fine. That was supposed to be their, I mean, it still is their like entry level type of board. Oh, and the Exway Flex was the first board that they made that had a flexible deck. So after the Exway Flex, I think they came out with the Exway Wave, which is here. It didn't come with this grip tape. This is a newer grip tape that Exway came out with. You have to buy it from them. It doesn't come with the board. I mean, I got it for free, but of course. The Exway Wave really is an amazing board. Like, as soon as I rode it, I knew that this was going to be a board that I rode a lot. Like, this was going to become my main board. Okay, first of all, this is like the only practical board to travel with, like on a plane, because you can take off the battery. The battery just like, it slides off and you can snap it back on. And it has a travel battery option. Even today, this is the only board that I travel with on a plane. It has other features like a customizable LED light on the tail, on the brake light. I don't really care for that feature. Let's weigh it real quick. 6.9 kilograms. Really? Oh yeah, that's because I'm using the travel battery. Oh, I thought it was 7. So the hub motor version with the travel battery, it might be even lighter. So after the Exway Wave, what was the next board? I think it might have been the X1 Max, which I think is over here. Yeah, once again, I'm not using the stock grip tape. This is the reflective grip tape that Exway sells. I think this is just a X1 Pro, but with a slightly bigger battery. And so the deck is a little bit longer. The charge port was moved to the truck, which was pretty clever. Still a great board, but I think it got heavier. Yeah, 8 kilograms for the X1 Max. I think I was mistaken. I think the Exway Atlas came out before the X1 Max. I'm losing track. So Exway Atlas was kind of like I think it was a game changer for all-terrain electric skateboards. Yes, it's in the Evolve style, but then when this board came out, a lot of other brands copied this board. You can see that my unit actually has tiny motors because this was a prototype unit. This unit has larger motors in the back, smaller motors in the front, which is actually the way that I like it. This is their first all-terrain board, the Wave NASA. I don't know, I've lost track. I'm just gonna talk about the Wave NASA. So Wave NASA is basically the same as the Wave, but with aluminum CNC machine trucks, different grip tape, different wheels. And it was the first board that had this light, at least the first production board that had a ambient light around the edge of the deck. And it's really subtle. Like, this is how I like it. This is super subtle. Like, you're not even gonna notice this light unless you're looking at the board. Like, it's not screaming for attention or anything. I don't really ride it because I have the regular Wave, and I don't know, Wave NASA is kind of like a collector's thing since I have both. So I normally just ride the regular Wave. I think I've completely messed up the release order. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I think the next one that came out was the Flex ER. So the Flex ER is basically an updated iteration of the original Flex. The Flex ER. Come to think of it. Yeah, there have been multiple versions of the Flex. I don't actually have every single Exway board because there's like the original Flex and then there was the Flex ER. And then after the Flex ER, there's like a Flex SE or something. I don't remember. There's been several different iterations of the Flex. This is the Flex ER. And compared to the original Flex, this one has a bigger battery. The Flex ER and the Flex 2022 or whatever the name was, they came out at the same time. Right. So the Flex ER has the bigger battery. Yeah, ER is extended range, and the deck is a little bit different, less pointy at the flares. And then shortly after that, the Flex Pro came out. Flex Pro is basically a more powerful Flex. To me, it has a very good amount of power, but it's also a bit heavy. In fact, let's weigh it right now. Compared to other boards today, actually not that heavy. 9.5, 9.6. It's getting kind of heavy, but like the flagship boosted style boards from various brands today, they're typically over 10 kilograms. I think after the Flex Pro was the Atlas Pro. It's over here. Yeah, Atlas Pro compared to the original Exway Atlas. Bigger battery. It went up from about 500 watt hours to about 700 watt hours. And more importantly, it's able to use a aux pack. Aux pack is this auxiliary battery pack that has about 1,000 watt hours. So that combined with the internal battery adds up to about 1,700 watt hours, which is freaking insane. Around the same time, or a little bit after that, they came out with Gear Drive. So after the Atlas Pro came was it the Ripple? I'm running out of boards. I think it was the Ripple, right? Ripple is the first board that came out to use a Lingy ESC instead of their own ESC. This is like their most toyish like board, and it weighs only 5.9 kilograms. This is really light, and I have commuted with it before. It's the same form factor as the Exway Wave, right? It's a short board, but because it's using hub motors, and not just hub motors, but like relatively small hub motors, it's not a very comfortable ride compared to the Exway Wave. So the Exway Wave continued to be my most frequently used board. The Ripple, I didn't use that much. I think that's about it. I don't think I missed any boards. Flex. What am I talking about? The Flex Paragon, obviously. So after that came the Flex Paragon and the Flex 2 Pro. I don't have the Flex 2 Pro, and the Flex Paragon is at my new apartment. It's a Flex, it's more powerful. It has the RGB lights around the edge of the deck. Unlike other boards, unlike competing boards, it is actually RGB. It's not a single color. It's RGB in that you can change the color of the light. And there's a whole bunch of different animation effects. And also the battery is swappable. You can detach it. You can charge the battery separate from the board, but it's so freaking heavy, man. It's like 11 point something kilograms. It's so freaking heavy that I don't use it. But it's a very pretty board, man. It's probably the most advanced electric skateboard today. It literally has turn signals. Okay, the Flex Paragon has turn signals, which is crazy. Flex 2 Pro, I'll talk about the Flex 2 Pro real quick. Very similar to the Flex Paragon, but smaller battery and no detachable battery. It still has the RGB lights. Okay, so that covers all of the Exway boards. I'm just gonna keep a few of them. I wish I could collect every single Exway board, but I can't. There's too many boards. The day has come for me to get rid of most of my Exway electric skateboards. I already have plans for them. Don't ask me for free boards. So the boards that I'm going to keep are the X1 Max, the Flex Paragon, the Wave NASA, the original Atlas, which they call the Atlas Carbon, and the Atlas Pro NASA. Those are the 5 Exway boards that I'm going to keep.